Flooring, wood pallets at great prices, and don't forget the dog food. So for selection and hometown service, see Sandy and Donnie at Home Warehouse, Carlsville Street in Uniontown. Shop Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30, Saturday till noon, closed Sunday and holidays.
Home Warehouse, where a house becomes a home.
Are you interested in earning your degree online or finishing your degree? Take your career to the next level at Salem University. Salem University offers more than 50 online degrees and certificate programs. Learn how you can advance your career with degrees in nursing, business, education, criminal justice, and IT. Salem has 4-week classes starting once a month. Contact Salem University by dialing 844-462-9128, option 1, or visit salemu.edu to see if you are eligible for our partnerships offering tuition scholarships.
Amedisys Hospice and Home Healthcare invite you to their 4th annual car cruise as they celebrate Hometown Heroes Community Day, Thursday, October 9th from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Uniontown Mall. Bring your classic car, no registration required, and join Amedisys in supporting our community. Vendors are welcome to participate and can register their business for a free vendor table by contacting Amanda DeGespie at 724-208-9783. Gift basket donations are also being accepted and may be dropped off to Amedisys Hospice at 649 Cherry Tree Lane in Uniontown. Bring the family to this community event. Enjoy the car cruise plus food trucks, a variety of vendors, free entertainment, and free giveaways. I'm TJ DeStefano. I'll be there broadcasting live along with Arnie Amber and the famous WMBS prize wheel. Come say hello, spin the wheel, enjoy the fun, and celebrate Hometown Heroes Community Day with Amedisys Hospice and Home Healthcare Thursday, October 9th from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Uniontown Mall. Together, we are the best in Fayette.
Look and you'll see there's a whole new Ford for you.
Thurby's Riverside Ford is pleased to announce that we've been awarded Ford Motor Company's highest honor.
The President's Award is only presented to those top-performing Ford dealerships that exhibit quality business practices and Ford's core principles. Dealerships nationwide competed for this honor, but only 10% of all dealerships achieved the President's Award.
Dealers must exceed customers' expectations every day and achieve the highest levels of performance. The pursuit of excellence requires passion, tenacity, and hard work in both sales and service.
The Thurby family and our employees have earned the President's Award 23 times and would like to thank our customers for scoring us the highest in the Pittsburgh region for customer satisfaction. Remember, victories achieved each time a customer translates into a lifelong relationship, and that's a celebration of excellence.
Please stop by and visit Thurby's Riverside Ford and experience the Thurby difference.
Thurby's Riverside Ford, 1 mile past the casino at Nemacolin.
Looking for a new spot for a night out? Then check out Shindig's Bar and Grill in Uniontown, located in Oliver Square. With regular live entertainment and themed events, and offering 6 diamond pool tables and 3 dartboards, Shindig's is the place to be. Enjoy daily specials, including Tuesday wing night, Friday's Cajun chicken Alfredo, and Saturday's incredible crab leg dinner. And stick around for karaoke nights, live music, and so much more. Follow them on Facebook at Shindig's with a Z Bar and Grill. Shindig's, your hootenanny hotspot.
I'll tell you what, folks, I just sat down with my budget worksheet, pencil, paper, and a calculator. And you know what? I cut my expenditures by 15.1%. That's real savings, and I froze my salary, saving the taxpayers over $1,800. I'm doing this to try to save money for the residents of Fayette County, because the commissioners have raised your taxes 78.2% in just 6 years. That's not right. On November 4th, 2025, vote for me, John Marietta, for Recorder of Deeds. Let's keep fighting for fiscal sanity and protect your hard-earned money.
'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of John Marietta and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Fayette County Recorder of Deeds Office or Fayette County government. This program is privately produced and funded, and no county resources are used for its production or promotion.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I was trucking up the highway, minding my own lane, with some dude in a Prius went and flipped me off. Guess my redneck hit him wrong. Seems like everyone these days is a ticking time bomb full of hate. For folks like me who don't agree and ain't ever gonna change. And it gets me thinking, leave this long-haired country boy alone. And I start
Hey
singing.
everybody, this is John Marietta, and I am the Hillbilly. And it's raining outside, but it's still a Trump-tastic day here in Fayette County. Today's show is being brought to you by Miles' Garage and Tire Center, Mung's Auto Body, PatriotsOnline.com, Fayette County Recovery Storage and U-Haul. Yep, they're the IDF of Fayette County. H&C Storage, JB Market in Dunbar, Gunslingers in Connersville, Tactical Civics, Auto Ordnance, Solid Foundation Ministries, New Life Free Methodist Church, Highline Motorsports, Gun Owners of America. And I tell you what, you need to go to that Gun Owners of America site right now because the state's trying to get this red flag law taken in place. Anyways, on to Thundering Hills Feed and Supply. These people got to hay all the time, and go out and see them. That's what they deal. They deal in feed too. The Ink Spot, Fayette County MAGA Patriots Group, Hillbilly Jon Radio, John Marietta for We the People, Fayette Structures, and I want to thank everybody that called in and called me last night. The concert, I want to throw a commercial in for it. Iradine talked to him this morning. Talked to Lee Greenwood. They're coming on October the 25th to the Uniontown State Theater. We're having Nick Polito there, local boy, and I can call him a boy because I'm 63 years old. Jonah Klein and Retro Rodeo. I'll tell you what, it's going to be a big night. We're gonna rock Fayette. We're gonna rock Fayette County like it's never been done before. The other thing is, October the 19th, I want to get out there. I want everybody to know. Oh, by the way, all the proceeds for the concert are 75% of them are going to Turning Point USA, the chapters around here. We got to work out the logistics of that. We will show where all the money went and what we spent on that concert. We'll be very transparent about that. So no, there won't be no need for any questioning. The other thing is we're going to have a prayer visual on October the 19th out at Free Methodist Church Camp. We got, I don't know how many churches involved in this. They're gonna have a spaghetti dinner. The ladies are trying to figure out how they're going to cook all this spaghetti, but they'll get it done. And we're also going to have a prayer service. It's going to start 3-ish, and for an hour or so. We don't want to wear everybody out, but it's going to be a big deal for everything that's going on here. We're going to pray for the county, the state, and the country. So let's get started. If a house is divided against itself, the house cannot stand. That's Mark 3:25. Folks, I'll tell you what. That verse hits home this week because right now, both our state government in Harrisburg and our county government right here in Fayette County are living proof that a house divided cannot stand. Here we are, entering the 4th month, and that's where we're at, the 4th month. The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania has billions of dollars sitting in limbo while the politicians play games. Schools are warning of layoffs. Counties are borrowing just to stay afloat. And social service agencies, the ones that help kids, seniors, and veterans, think about what I said, kids, seniors, and veterans, and these are the most vulnerable people in our society, are stuck waiting for money that's already been promised. And why? Because the Democrats in Harrisburg, led by Josh Shapiro, and the Democrat-controlled, man, I have trouble saying that. Jeez, whiz, it just wasn't roll off my tongue. Democrat-controlled House can't stop spending. They want more programs, more taxes, more pet projects, while the Republican-controlled Senate is trying to rein them in, and they're doing their best. You got two sides pulling in opposite directions, and the people of Pennsylvania are the ones getting ripped apart in the middle. Our county is suffering because of this, and it's just not because of the budget. I mean, we got a federal budget that right now that they're sitting on that hasn't been taken care of. Thank you, Chuck Schumer. And let's bring it home, because it's not just the state that's broken. Look, right here in Fayette County, we can't even get the courthouse clock to tell the right time except for a couple times a day. There's a TikTok video that's gone viral, 5 days old, showing 2 different times on the same courthouse clock. And you know what? That clock is the perfect symbol of our government right now. Out of sync, out of touch, and out of order. While Harrisburg can't pass a budget, our county commissioners have raised your taxes. Yes, they have raised your taxes, no matter what anybody tells you. They've mismanaged funds, played favorites, and spent millions on pet projects instead of fixing what's broken. They've given tax breaks to elitist resorts while working families struggle to keep their homes. And under their watch, I've seen the Fay Penn scandal unfold. Yep, it is right now. And we're hearing that there may even be an investigation by the Attorney General's office. It's like a bad rerun. The same cast of characters, the same excuses, the same kind of endorsed candidates, and the same bill handed to the taxpayers at the end of the day. Meanwhile, our Republican state representatives right here in Fayette County, they're doing their part, trying to cut waste, push back against Shapiro's bloated budget, and get Pennsylvania back on track. But it's hard to fight for fiscal responsibility when your own county can't even balance the books or operate with transparency. And folks, I'll be honest with you, we deserve better. We deserve better leadership. That tells the truth. Spends wisely and shows up for work instead of vanishing to Florida or to do work visa Zooms. We deserve county officials, once again, we deserve county officials who don't play games with the people's money, and state leaders who remember that every dollar they spend belongs to you. Taxpayer money comes from one place, taxpayers. There's no grant tree in the back of the courthouse. There's not one in behind the White House. It comes from taxpayers. If Pennsylvania ran its finances the way our families do, if they had to earn it before they spent it, we wouldn't be in this mess. But instead, we got politicians who can't balance a budget, a county government who can't keep time, and taxpayers footing the bill for their incompetence. So today, we're going to talk about what that means for Fayette County, for Pennsylvania, for the future of the Commonwealth we love. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about red or blue. It's about right and wrong. One more time, this isn't about red or blue, it's about right and wrong. And folks, it's time for leaders who don't just talk about fixing things, but actually do it. Because if the state can't lead, and the county won't lead, then it's up to the people to take a stand. That's what the spirit of Fayette County is about, and that's what the spirit of America is about. Okay, I have a good friend of mine right here with me. His name is Donnie McCartney. And he said he's dressed for he said he did his makeup and he got ready for the radio show. He's a good friend of mine, and Donnie understands exactly where I'm coming from and what we're talking about here with all the fiscal responsibility. They've come at me hard about the things that I've done, but one thing I can do, I can prove where every dollar went that I spent, and that's one thing that we have trouble with. Not just at the county level, but at the state level and other places in our government. Government's too big. We need to rein it in. We need to make it smaller. We need to make it right size for this county. That would save us a ton of money. Everybody says, well, then the grant money won't come. Well, the grant money's still your tax money, no matter how you look at it. So here we are, Donnie. I'm going to get the microphone just a little bit closer to you. And what do you have to say about these things?
Well, okay. I grew up in Pennsylvania. I joined the service. I left. I lived in California. I lived in Texas. Texas did not have income tax. They did have other taxes that paid for things. During those times, I was happy-go-lucky. Oh, the world's great. And then I moved back to Pennsylvania and started noticing how much I was being taxed. And, okay, we all need to pay our fair share. But I was noticing the proportion of tax to what I was receiving. And it was like, boy, there's some corruption going on here. And I started looking into things, and I was like, okay, well, all right, you're going to have some grift, okay? But it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I was like, okay, I got to get out of Allegheny County. So I came to Fayette County. And when I came here, I realized, okay, it wasn't an industrial county. I'm trying to choose the right words.
What year did you move to Fayette County?
2006.
Okay, so yeah, most of the industry had,
was starting to decline.
Well, like I said, I can remember, and actually, the guys that lived here, my dad, my uncle, my grandfather, they worked in the mills in Pittsburgh.
Right.
And my dad worked at Fruoff for years, and then he went to Clareton to work, and my uncle worked at Cary Furnace, and my dad worked at Homestead. And you think about, and my grandfather worked at Cary Furnace too, I believe. Edgar Thompson. But anyways, to make a long story short, they drove to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And back in the day, you want to talk about sacrifice. My grandfather actually stayed in Wilkinsburg and went to work because back in the early times there, it wasn't a good thing to drive back and forth to home. But
right. It wasn't economically feasible.
Yeah.
And that was kind of what I was getting to. I commuted. Even when I moved out here, I commuted to work every day to Pittsburgh. Okay? And the majority of the people I knew did because there wasn't work in Fayette County. I mean, yeah, you could get a job, but you couldn't make a good living. If you wanted a good, decent living, you had to commute. And I thought, okay, that's to live in this nice area. That was the sacrifices you had to make. But then I started thinking, well, why not bring industry here? Why not bring the economics here? And then you had places like, okay, you had United Defense, okay, which became BAE. Well, I ended up working there, okay? Well, here you go. Barack Obama, he shut that down, okay? Well, and there's other things that affect that, like Desert Storm, okay?
Yeah,
that was the perfect vehicle for that war, okay? When we went in there, the Abrams tanks were the big artillery. In that war, they truly expected the Abrams to be the fighting force. Well, when they got there, the Bradleys were faster and more maneuverable. They outran the Abrams, okay? So they actually did. They were the workhorse there. But that's just how it went. Well, then when they went to Afghanistan, because of the terrain, the Bradley wasn't the vehicle. The Abram was more designed for that. But that's getting off subject. That's getting off economics here.
Taxes here.
Yeah, well, if you have the economics, just like Trump, okay, energy. Energy is economics. If you have energy, back when Biden shut it down, I kept telling people it's going to kill the economy. If you have energy, energy drives a country. Energy could drive this county.
It could.
When they shut the coal down, my God, that's when I lost my job. I had a job at Pillar. I mean, I'm retired now. God bless all you working people. Keep working. I need you. But anyway, this county could be thriving if it was led properly. it is not led properly. And they talk about FAPEN and this and that and the commissioners and this. They're doing nothing. Bike trails are not going to build this county. They need industry. Heartland, that is a good start.
They're trying to.
They're trying. They're doing a great. You need a lot more than that.
Yep.
I mean, please, Lord, put some sense in these people's head. And I hate to say, there's a gal named Deb Fox. She ran BAE at one time. I thought she was a great lady. My understanding, she's at FAPEN. I hope not, because from what I'm hearing, it ain't a good place to be.
Well, I think there has to be a whole restructure of that, or completely phase, do away with it and start all over again.
Yeah, wash their hands.
Because you're right. I mean, you think about one of the things that I think about all the time, and I've said this more than once: Brownsville, Pennsylvania. Okay, there's rail on both sides of the river. Okay, rail on both sides of the river. There's the Monongahela is navigable by almost any barge that's built in this country. You got a barge company down there that wants to expand. They need housing down there for these guys to come live, because the work that these guys are making good money down there, but they need
Well,
Hillman was down there for years, but they need to be able to expand to where they're making the workforce in order to do it. But nobody wants to be here because of the taxes. I mean, property taxes are outrageous. And one of the things that I will tell, a lot of people will say, well, property taxes is what it is. But when you raise taxes 78.2% since 2019, that's what the problem is. And there's one thing that's been consistent in that. And you all know which commissioner's been there since 2019. And it's not hard to figure out.
That's one of the reasons I left Allegheny County, where I grew up, was property taxes. It was driving me out.
Well, you think about it, you have Tennessee doesn't. I believe Tennessee doesn't have property taxes. I'm almost sure Florida did away with property taxes now. And a lot of people say, well, that's a tourist business down there. Well, there's a lot more than tourism in Florida. Florida is one of the major producers of beef in this country. A lot of people don't know that. And so if you're doing in agriculture, we need to develop agriculture. We need to get back into mining. We need to get back into the natural gas boom could be right here again. We know have no idea how much we're standing on right here, because it has to be developed.
I keep seeing on Facebook these active well things, and I used to work the wells, and the ones they're showing for Washington County are not accurate. What they're showing on Facebook is not accurate.
Okay, I have a guest that's calling in right now. Are you with me, sir?
Hey, John, this is Sean Cavanaugh.
Oh, how are you today?
Doing good. How are you?
It's raining out there, but it's still a Trump-tastic day in Fayette County.
Hey, I liked your who's the gentleman with you there? He's
Donnie McCartney. He's from he's from the on top of the mountains up there, and he's worked. Donnie worked his whole life, and like I said, and now it's time for Donnie not to have to pay property taxes. What do you think?
He's telling it like it is, and you know what it's like, the struggle and commute, like he said, sacrifice. A lot of people in Fayette County do not work in Fayette County. They work in Morgantown, West Virginia. They work in Clarksburg, West Virginia. They work in Greensburg, Irwin, Pittsburgh. So, you know, as I said, you know, the big problem in Fayette County, and Donnie said it, is the leadership. You know, and they're just the CDs is highest taxing commissioner in the history of Fayette County, and then right with him is his partner in crime. What's his name, John? The other commissioner?
Yeah.
Scott Dunn.
Yeah, Scott Dunn. I mean, Vinny taxed them the CDs and Scott shop till you drop. They're buying buildings.
Yeah.
Shop till you,
Oh.
They're buying buildings. Listen, here's the thing.
Wait. That was a free building, but we had to put $5 to $7 million in it to make it habitable.
Yeah, it's free. Free my you blank beep. Brian up Marosa keeps beeping me. That beep. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, but free my my doofus. But I mean, yeah, and then they say, oh, it's grant money. Grant money's taxpayers' money. But the fact of the matter is, it's time for the people of Fayette County to wake up and look and say, what, why is Washington County doing so well, or Border County? Why is Monongahela County doing so well? Why is Westmoreland County doing so well? And why is the county right in the middle, starving? Highest crime rates, highest poverty rates, highest unemployment rates, and we've lost, and we look at our census, which is important. You look at our last United States Census. When I was commissioner, remember, John, what was my budget back in 96?
I believe it was $12 million.
$12 million. And what's the budget now?
$56 million. And we only collect. It looks like we only collect now. I don't know what we'll collect this year. This year isn't all in yet, but it looks like anticipated we're only going to collect $48 million.
Well, the thing is, I have a modest house, and I bought a home, North Union Township, and my taxes this year went up over $700. Now, I'm working. My family, they work, but how about the people out there, retirees, unemployed, veterans? We can't, they're just taking a beating. And here's the thing. I don't think anybody would have a problem paying more taxes, but like Donnie said, if we were getting something for our money. But what are we getting? You're buying buildings, shopping sprees. They bought the Joe Farron's building. That's, for those that don't know, the district attorney's office now. Had nothing to do with Mike Aubel, but they bought that building, $500,000, taxpayers' money. Then they took money and they built a $1 million, $2 million tunnel to connect the new Joe Farron's building with the brick building with the lions in front of it next to the courthouse. They take the former Gallatin Bank building, Integra, whatever you want to call it, National City Bank. They got it for free, and as Donnie said, then they want to put millions into that. And we are losing population. So back to our census, we had 145,000 people in 1996. We're down to under 120,000 people. We're losing people, and why? What else did we lose? We lost Penn State. I mean, this is a model. Look at Laurel Highlands High School, Uniontown. They're only graduating a couple hundred per school. They're spending $100 million for 2 schools. We're losing population. That means these schools are going to have to merge. Yeah. So Fayette County is not on the upswing. It's not, the CD saying his whole career, moving Fayette forward. Well, the fact of the matter is, Vince Cedi's and Scott Dunn, they've moved Fayette County backward. And so the question is, we have to ask as citizens of Fayette County, why are the counties around us that border us thriving, and we are, Don, we're the worst this, we're the worst that. We're losing, but the big thing is we're losing population because there's nothing here. I mean, there's a saying, if you build it, they will come. But those defense contractors with John Murtha left, Base Systems, which became, as he was saying, United Defense. John Murtha's gone. We lost his political clout when he passed away many years ago. Yep. So, so the fact of the matter is, So you just can't be increasing taxes, putting the burden on other people, and not producing, not getting any results. Crime, poverty, unemployment, loss of population, and tax the beep out of the citizens.
Yep.
Well, Sean, like I said, I know that when you were commissioner, there was there was some knockdown, drag out situations in that but it seems like it's like, let's get along to go along, and I think that's what's the problem is right now. I think nobody's looking ahead. You know, I'm the only row officer that has publicly stood up and said, "Look, these taxes are wrong. It's against everything we're about." I mean, do you realize what would have happened in 1776? I mean, we went to war over a tax on tea. I mean, there was some other things involved too, munitions.
That's right. I mean, America.
We went to war on a tax. We were willing to say enough is enough, and there was a lot that led up to that. That was the final breaking point. But I guess.
Hey, there was the Whiskey Rebellion. There was the Boston Tea Party. Americans do not like being taken advantage of. I mean, it's one thing, we all know what's the two things in life? Death and taxes. But the fact of the matter is, but you're not delivering, and you're wasting money. So you said it, John, I think Don too. In the Bible it says, where there is no vision, the people will perish. So Fayette County is perishing, and counties around us have made good investments. They've done the right thing, but you just cannot keep on taxing and not delivering. And there's no good jobs. I mean, and there's a culture of corruption. So, if you don't weed the garden out, the weeds take over the garden, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, these are weeds, corrupt politicians just taking advantage and not delivering, not having a vision. All they care about is getting reelected. They don't care about delivering. I mean, how can you look in the mirror, commissioners look themselves in the mirror, say, I'm the highest taxing commissioner in history. I lead the whole state in poverty. I lead it in crime and unemployment, and we're losing population. But I'm moving Fayette County forward. That it's just like, it ain't cut and mustard anymore. It's BS. It's lies.
Yeah.
It's flim flam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
they just want the power. When you have a budget.
I think I'm losing you a little bit, Sean. It must be a bad connection. Of course, that's the other thing we spend a pile of money on is the internet, and it isn't. I mean, we've done studies and studies and studies on it, and we haven't got it taken care of, not even close.
But also, when you got one of the biggest 5-star resorts that gets exempt from paying any tax, any property tax, and it's like, that's okay. And they constantly apply for that. I forget what it's called.
LERTA.
Yeah. And they constantly apply for it. And I've worked a supply company up there. Yeah, they're constantly redoing stuff because they're not paying for it. They're not paying the tax, the property tax, to redo stuff. It's like...
Well, the other thing is, though, too, you keep all these jobs on the payroll. If the population's going down and the services are going, why do we keep all these employees on the payroll?
Yeah.
I mean, how can you afford it? I mean, the budget, why is it always you got to raise taxes? Why can't you cut taxes? Why can't you trim your budget? Why can't you, and you can, but no.
Yeah. But when you end up at a deficit every year, and you end up having to borrow more money. And right now, it appears that we're like $82 million. The county's over $82 million in debt. it just keeps growing because you're paying all you're doing is paying interest.
Well, you're borrowing money to pay that.
Yeah.
To pay your debt. That's a formula. That's a formula for bankruptcy.
Robin Peter pay Paul. But the fact of the matter is, I mean, my mom used to say you can't have champagne taste with a beer pocketbook. Why are you buying real estate? Why are you buying the Farron's building? Why are you building tunnels? What are you people doing?
Why are you building bike trails? Grant money. That's our money. Yeah.
Well, you have to invest. I mean, manufacturing is the key for any country and for any state.
Energy.
You have to make things.
Energy, too.
Energy, and you have to make things. And these guys aren't making things. They're just, all they're doing is creating political jobs.
Yep.
Get this person, that person, for some votes here, some votes there. But what they're doing is they're crushing. And ultimately the people of Fayette County have to rise up and say,
enough's enough.
And I'll say this about John Marietta. He's the only row officer that
says anything.
Taking a stand and saying these commissioners are taxing and spending liberals, and they're just putting the county out of commission, and as you said, more and more debt, and they don't care. But guess what? They're getting their paychecks. They're laughing, but they're not delivering. So, ultimately, in the NFL, what happens if your coach keeps losing? Like Franklin at Penn State? This guy's making all this money, he can't win the big one. What are they saying? He got to go.
Yeah.
All right, the coach, but we're talking about people that are leading this county.
Yeah, but what's going to end up happening is somebody that's going to try to fix all this is going to come in. And because of how deep of a hole they have dug, things are going to fail, and that person is going to get blamed for the failures that they have caused.
He said that the county is on the brink of
bankruptcy.
And being taken over. But the thing is, I mean, I appreciate that John Marietta is standing up against Vince Taxum Vicides, the highest taxing commissioner in history, and then you've got Scott Shop till you drop done.
Yeah.
These guys care more about power, and you know what? You're supposed to be in there as public servants and trying to make Fayette County a better place to live for all of the constituents, not just your political hacks and creating jobs. The thing is, again, just they think they can get away with it. I think the next county commissioner race is going to be amazing, and I think these guys are going to get the boot, and they're never going to. They need to just move out of Fayette County because they destroyed it.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
Well,
I mean, you either deliver or you don't deliver. But I mean, I think it's important. I mean, here's the thing: they're putting this full court press on the Recorder of Deeds race, Vince Vicides, and because John Marietta is standing up to him and calling him as he sees them.
Yep.
And hey, if you're a good leader, you should take on criticism.
Yep.
You should admit your mistakes. But these guys don't admit mistakes. They just keep sticking it to the people, taxpayers of Fayette County. And for those people who can't, they're on fixed incomes, veterans. They're losing their homes because of these bad policies.
Yeah, we have lots of problems here, Sean, but one of the things that I do want to mention, when they built the new prison, of course they opened it, and they had a grand opening. I think it was in, I don't remember now, March, April. They had that, but they never got moved into it till about 6 or 7 months later. But we had a big deal. They made a big deal out of it before the primary that year. But one of the things that that they haven't done yet, in which there was money that was supposedly allotted for, was we were supposed to have an SPCA right there with the prison, and it was supposed to work for so the people that were incarcerated, that serving time or whatever, that they could work there and help out and do things. It was supposed to be part of that system. There was a Department of Agriculture grant, once again, taxpayer money, that was supposed to go to this. And it just like the money disappeared or went out. I don't know where it went to. I know that there was money allotted for a big water line. Grant money went for a big water line up on top of the mountain to come over to Dunbar. Where'd that money go to? I mean, there was other monies that was supposed to go to. I believe the state police got a grant or helped get a grant for a gun range down to help train state troopers down in I believe it was supposed to be in South Connersville. What happened to that money? I mean, we can go on and on.
Well, one thing we can do about what happened to the money is you have to have an independent audit, and we need to know how much is going out, how much went out, how much is coming in, and an independent audit. No shell game politics with money. We need to know exactly, and from my understanding, there's missing money in a lot of places. There's been a lot of lack of accountability, and I've heard rumors of district. There's the state is looking into things, but we need to find out an independent audit. And trap, somebody once said a long time ago, you got to follow the money, and that will lead to what is going on. But the fact of the matter is, they're taxing the people of Fayette County out of their homes. They're not delivering jobs. They're not helping the crime or the poverty. And
you think about it, our police officers and our first responders, they're working at a terrible deficit because the police officers, we don't have near enough, first off, because things aren't, how many, when I grew up, even Dunbar had a police officer. I mean, there was police officers probably all over. I don't know about Markleysburg, but they probably had one too.
They had one.
But we don't have that. Now we're putting a burden on our state police. And it's just like I told the people at the state police when they asked me, I said, as a county commissioner, you're supposed to find the money to help fund these things. You don't need to be showing up at somebody's house because mom and dad are having an argument over having a domestic fight. That needs to be taken care of. State police are to take care of other things. Then they cheered me when I said that. Now, one of the things. And
that's right. Services are hurting.
Yeah, and we got fire departments.
And they're relying on the rest of the state.
We got fire departments that need to be funded properly because, every time you drive by, I say this all the time. I said, if you drive by, if I don't buy a hoagie, I try to give these guys a donation. And I know, and I've helped Morel out. I've tried to help the Dunbar fire department out. I've tried to help. I attend almost all the fish dinners just because it's the thing to do. You can't get to all of them. I'm going to be this weekend. I'm going to be at a high pile and mill run for both the buckwheat things. Of course, I like to eat, so it helps me out. But anyways, but you think about, we need to help these guys out. The EMS workers, the people that all these people. We need to get these things funded, and if you can't pay your bills and you're struggling to pay your bills, and some of it has come down from the state budget because of not having a state budget. But now we're looking at something even worse, Sean. We're looking at not having a federal budget. So now you got because they got the government shut down in D.C. now, and then you're going to end up with a shutdown here in Pennsylvania. And what's going to happen? It's going to be the county government next. And
they just keep putting on the taxpayers. And I'm just saying, it's one thing, again, if you're doing a good job and you raise taxes and you're creating jobs in a good economic climate. But, again, this is I said it earlier. why is the county in the middle of all these successful counties? Why is it that ours is doing so bad?
Yeah.
And it has to do with the leadership. Where there is no vision, the people perish. And, you know, some people go into politics to see how much money they can get out of it. Not to serve, but to self-serve. And that's what we have here. I mean, Vasidi should be ashamed of himself. I mean, he's going down as the worst commissioner in history and the highest taxing commissioner.
You'd have to have morals.
And he's a bully. He's a little guy, and he bullies people. He bullies people. He tries to use his power, and you know he's going to go down as the worst in history, and done along with him. And it's just because there's no performance. They're not getting it done, and they're just sticking it to us.
Well,
so I'm curious, John. Maybe have callers. Maybe on one of your shows, have them call in. How much did your taxes increase? You know, but I don't know how you can get it. He increased the taxes 65% one year. The year after I was not in there, when he was in there with Hardy and Zimmerlink, he increased taxes 65%. But over the years, it's astronomical what he's done.
Sean, and then he's trying to promote candidates to run, and this is where we're at. I mean, you can't promote people. I mean, not my opponent is not yet.
Stealing money. They're stealing money legally. They just say, we'll raise the taxes, and we can keep doing it and sticking it to the taxpayers. Eventually, it's just not going to. I mean, there's one day it's just going to collapse. It's just going to collapse.
Well, I think unless they come up with a solution, I think we're going to end up with a problem here before the end of the year. I mean, they're going to try to finance something. I'm sure they are, and to try to take care of the problem. And that's what Westmoreland County did. They borrowed a bunch of money to try to take care of all the past loans, and they kept. So they raised taxes. So part of the tax raise was part of the was to pay back the big loan they did. But why should people be burdened with mismanagement like that? Just think about it. Why should we be burdened with paying more taxes to take care of a loan to take care of mismanagement in before?
If you don't have the money coming in, I mean, sometimes you got to cut some jobs.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about.
Or sell something.
Or sell something. I think that's what
we're not a fourth-class county. Fayette County's not a fourth-class county. We're pretending. We've lost population. And, the row officers, there's consolidation that can happen there.
Yeah.
I mean, it starts with consolidation, cutting back, and making it lean and mean. But like Dawn said, you got a building for free. You got it for free on Main Street, but you're putting millions into it. For what?
Hey, Sean, I'm going to have to cut you off.
Out of time.
Yep, I thank you for calling in. I really appreciate it, but we're about out of time, so we're going to have to call it a day. Thanks for calling in. I'll get you
John,
in.
Well, you're standing up. You're the row officer standing up against this tax and spend liberal policies and corruption. You're going to win.
Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it. Hey, I'm going to close up the show right now. I'll be back on Friday, so here we go. On this road called life, you have to take the good with the bad. Smile when you're sad. Love what you have. Remember what you had. Always forgive and try to forget. People change. Things go wrong. Just remember the ride goes on. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless America. I am John Marietta, and I am the Hillbilly.
Rain and 65 degrees outside of our Davis & Davis studios in downtown Uniontown. CBS News is on the way next at your local station, 590 and 101.1 WMBS Uniontown. It's 5 o'clock.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. There's no sign of any progress to end the government shutdown, and the